All right, chat. We're gonna take a little break from all the music reactions that we've been doing. We've got a video from Casual Chuck, the goat himself. Um, this is SB19 story, episode 1. I think he did like a series. If the people that are gonna be watching this on YouTube, you guys want me to continue doing like the reaction to this series, let me know. But I thought this would be kind of interesting. Maybe it's gonna be like a more of a deep dive into obviously their story. So it'll be kind of interesting to see more of like an explanation, the story of SB19, which we haven't done, right? Oh,
Disclaimer, this
Jesus
video is only
Christ.
based on my personal research. I might miss some details and it's possible to
That was
have
loud.
discrepancies, but I did my best to get as much accurate information as possible, so enjoy.
All right. 2016. Is this when they started? I guess this is when they started performing, huh? Okay. I really wonder what was like the state of P-pop in like 2016, because I feel like Beanie and SB19 and there's a couple other groups that are like really killing it recently, and kind of going viral, right? A lot of reactions on YouTube to them. That definitely helps to promote the groups kind of worldwide, that other people just wouldn't know about them. But I really wonder what was like the sound, or not the sound, what was like the state of the music industry.
This is called Triple, a group of talented performers and
that's not even
comedians
them.
from Korea you've probably never heard of.
No.
They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented.
1994.
In 2002,
The
one of the
OGs.
members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history.
Oh, don't tell me he like went to Philippines to start like groups. SB19 sound break. Okay.
Do you remember this song?
Also, chat, I gotta say that I'm not really familiar with a lot of SB19's older stuff. I gotta mention that I kind of discovered them recently, right? And I mostly know more of their newer stuff. Doing backflips. TV5. Oh, they did a cover.
It all started with this man, Jong Song-han. When he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur, Cult Triple became Cult 2. Most of their fans definitely thought that Song-han's decision was a huge mistake because the remaining members started racking up different awards in the entertainment industry. If he only stuck around.
That's crazy. So they like aired in the 90s and only recently they've been like getting the recognition, huh? As he left,
He would have gotten those awards too. But this man's decision was final. He used all of his savings to build an event organizing
That's a
company
crazy
called
decision.
Show BT Entertainment. Yep, I'm talking about Tatang Robin. Tatang noticed how passionate Filipino fans were during the rise of K-pop, so he wanted to organize K-pop concerts and events that.
I mean, I feel like it's really known from like the videos that we even watched. Like Filipino fans are probably one of the best when it comes to like support. Like dude, Filipino fans just love supporting
both Korean and Filipino culture.
the artists.
To make that happen,
Like,
he
Filipino crowds are
needed
crazy.
entertainers. A group of young people that will be part of the package of their service as an event organizer. We are talking about people who can do dancing, singing, and even act as servants like waiting tables and assisting guests. So he held an audition
Like
and
idols?
hundreds of young talents applied. 30 of them passed as trainees. They were then called.
I'm not gonna lie, his decision to like split off from the group, a huge risk, right? Especially that he used all of his money to come up with this.
Nara, which in Korean means country and is the national tree of the Philippines. They went to multiple events together, including the fan meeting event of the K-pop group called Off-Road.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, never heard of them. Maybe I should. Maybe we should listen to some of their stuff.
After numerous events, Tatang Robin saw something special when it comes to Filipino
Oh,
talent.
look at them, they're so
He
young.
realized that some of his trainees were far too talented to just end up as small-time performers. So he decided
Right.
to launch the first P-pop boy group that underwent strict Korean-type training.
Wait, is SB19 the first P-pop boy group? Like ever? Like the first ever?
The 30 trainees, only few have made it.
Okay.
Gian Paolo Nase.
Paolo.
He always wanted to be a performer. As a young dreamer,
Wait,
he
this is
joined
almost like a
several
guide. I like
competitions
this.
as a soloist and also a member of the K-pop dance cover group called PHP. As a trainee, he was the guy who shows up early and leaves late despite juggling a full-time job as a data analyst to provide for
goat.
his family.
What?
He was the first one selected
Wait, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a data analyst. What a Chad.
analyst to provide for his family. He was the first one selected due
stocks,
to
huh?
his undeniable diligence and leadership qualities. He is known to have critically acclaimed songwriting ability, a badass rapper, and was often dubbed as a genius, but he consistently denied it because he claimed to be just a hard worker. This made him the destined leader of
Too humble, man. Too humble. Sometimes when you get to that level, you just gotta take it and run with it, okay?
the group. He debuted with the
I
name
am the
Sejun,
genius.
but later changed his
Nah, but I like that. I like that he's so humble.
name to Pablo. Now that the methodical
Pablo.
leader is chosen, they needed more members. Tatang Robin just got a genius composer in Pablo, so
Oh, dude, I used to watch Simon. Nah. When I used to learn how to make tracks in FL or whatever, I used to watch him all the time.
they needed someone who can dance, and this next guy is exactly that, and even more.
And even more.
Stelvester Ahero. He was only 16 when he started competing as a dancer while studying.
Dude.
He was a born winner despite growing up as a bullied kid. He made performing his escape from the harsh reality of the world. He
Respect,
did a
man,
great
respect.
job channeling the negative aspect of his life and
I'm always impressed by, teenagers that actually like start off and they kind of know what they want to do and they just go for it. They just full send, And after 10 years or 5 years or whatever of like grinding, it just gets you places. Like when I was 16, I was just playing League, man. I was just playing League.
and converting it by winning multiple K-pop dance cover competitions with his group Saeon. He is also a hard worker. He was teaching dance to kids while competing. There was a point when he worked too hard that it threatened his life due to poor health. He is a
chill.
very skilled choreographer. In fact, he's the main culprit behind most of
See, that's impressive. When you work this hard, your body is just you can't take it anymore, and you keep on working, bro. That's real dedication right there. Actually,
SB19's snappy and amazingly synchronized dance routines. But little did they know that dancing wasn't even his only talent. He easily became the main heavenly voice of the group because his vocals were
voice.
just
too good. Woo.
out of this world.
Praise.
He debuted as Stel, the main vocalist, the lead dancer, and choreographer of the group.
Dude, I love this. All props to the person that made this video. Actually, really good video because it almost highlights everyone like a guide, one by one. Really
Josh Cullen Santos became homeless at the age of 16, and it was his decision. He's had the worst childhood among the other members.
Oh damn!
From growing up in a toxic environment to being physically abused as a kid by their nanny.
Oh
At an early age, he
By a
witnessed
nanny?
what it feels like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months. He experienced getting evicted from apartments to smaller rooms. It came to a point when his family had nothing to eat but ketchup and salt. They had no
Dude.
permanent address. Because of that, Josh and his sister dropped out of school multiple times, so they got bullied at school for being repeaters. Sometimes he would get into fistfights for defending her. Josh had enough of this.
It almost feels like a lot of the people, well, so far, they had a really like tough upbringing, huh? It's like it builds a character.
So he took matters into his own
Builds
hands by
discipline.
leaving. He became independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant. Using his own income,
Cool.
he took the alternative learning system and was
Dude, he's also into freaking stocks. There's gotta be something with that, huh?
able to finish his high school degree. He clearly had no background in performing. Not until he met new friends from the dance community, which led to him meeting Stell and Seyon.
Uh-huh.
They became co-members and went on to win numerous K-pop dance cover competitions all over
Nice.
Asia. They even met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea.
That's
In
so
a way,
cool.
Josh was saved by Stell after trying so hard to save himself. And it paid off because after training, Josh
BTS
ended up
shirt.
debuting as the lead rapper and dancer of the group.
Yeah.
Justin DeJoss didn't have to audition. Apparently, he was a very good-looking guy that when he joined a talent workshop as a teenager, Show BT immediately took notice and offered him to become a trainee to improve his singing and dancing skills. He was one of the late joiners, and when he did, he immediately saw a familiar face in Josh.
You look familiar.
Apparently,
hell-
the two had a stint in performing together in a K-pop dance cover group called
Oh, they
Zero
knew-
to Hero.
Dude, that's crazy how, they're separate, they don't know each other, but they take similar paths, and sometimes those paths just cross, right? And then they come back as a freaking group.
Hey, welcome to my world. Let's do this.
That's so cool. I wonder what was like the moment. They were like, I know you.
So Justin as well wasn't new in the world of performing. He auditioned to be a part of the televised Pinoy boy band Superstar show, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions. Perhaps it was fate.
Exactly, dude. That was fate. It's crazy how a lot of these times that we watch some of these like, guides and the story. A lot of the times, the artists, they don't even make it. But if they give up at that point, right? He wouldn't make it. It's their determination that just pushes them forward, and they eventually
But he didn't even make it to the live auditions.
get.
Perhaps
through,
it was fate. He didn't have great singing skills at the time. It was only when he became a trainee that he improved astoundingly in the vocal department. He went on to finish his college degree in multimedia arts while training, which earned him a skill in filmmaking.
Nice.
He then got selected to debut as the main visual, the sub-vocalist, and the creative director of the group.
Nice.
He was the would-be director behind the record-breaking
I love-
P-pop music.
I love the Pokemon
He was the
shirt.
would-be
Let's go.
director behind the record-breaking P-pop music video, What, and more. But that's
Oh.
a story for another video.
Got
At
it,
this
dude.
point, Show BT seemed to have completed the group. 4 members in a P-pop group, a nice
No,
even
yeah,
number.
no, yeah.
2 rappers and 2 vocalists. They were perfectly balanced, but they felt like something was missing. Perhaps someone was missing. Someone
yeah.
who could take this already great group of guys and push them to achieve the next level, the extraordinary level. Someone so naturally gifted that he could stand out in the presence of the already talented group of young artists. This venture that Tatang Robin took needed an apex, so he started the online auditions. When Josh heard about it, he was like, I know a guy.
I know a guy.
Philip John Suson is such a specimen. He was so naturally gifted that excelling in sports looked like a walk in the park for him. He grew up in the church under the care of his grandparents. He was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial cartoonist in school. Nobody taught him to play musical instruments. He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but he later
Nice.
fixed it as he learned more. He didn't even know that he could dance until he was forced to in order to get good grades during their school intrams.
Let's
After
go.
discovering dance, he transformed from a guy who didn't know it to someone who can fly.
Yo.
Because of his raw talent, he ended up teaching dance
I mean, he already had that kind of physical experience, right? That could push him into dance.
to the entire school and continued on to form a K-pop dance cover group called
go.
Amigo 7. Apparently,
Amigo
his
7.
group gave Josh's group so much trouble during their early competitions because they were very good rivals. So he decided to recruit him. But Philip was hundreds of islands away and didn't have the money. What did Josh do? He shelled out for his plane ticket. With nothing else to lose, Philip went and left his previous life in the
Did he use all of his money for a ticket? Oh, that's just...
countryside.
That's
He
insane.
then trained with the boys and officially debuted with them as Ken, the main dancer, the bass vocalist, and the lead rapper of the group. One thing to note is that they were an unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with
That's
his
what I'm
already
saying.
successful group in Korea. Justin failed his first audition, so he didn't even bother to audition again because he thought he wasn't ready. And Josh wouldn't have attempted to recruit Ken if Show BT's training program didn't even exist.
Actual fate, huh?
And
Actual
that,
fate.
ladies and gentlemen, is the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
When a small and seemingly insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through time, leading to a consequential
that is
event
actually
sometime
insane.
long after the initial event, or as Google would put it, a phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have a large effects elsewhere.
Yeah.
Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-pop Kings.
Mistake,
In
huh?
2018, SB19
Not a mistake
was
anymore.
formed. The name of the group was carefully picked. The number 19 is the sum of
I
Korean
actually always wondered what is SB19 like name? Like what does it stand for?
The name
let's
of the
hear it.
group was carefully picked. The number 19 is the sum of
SB19.
Korea and the Philippines area code digits 82 and 63. So
Ah.
8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 is 19.
Who came up with this? Like, yeah, that works.
SB doesn't only mean show BT. It is all about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry, which is fearlessly represented by
It's like a very nice mix or like friendship between, Korean and K-pop, and then Philippines and P-pop. He just took it, merged it beautifully, and we got SB19.
this praise. Soundbreak.
Soundbreak. Dude, what a video. Casual Chuck, insane. Episode 2. Yo, chat, insane video. Again, check out Casual Chuck. Of course, I will leave it in the description. But yeah, we can do more reactions to the story behind SB19. Insane. Again, that kind of butterfly effect that was mentioned, right? Through a mistake, right, by him leaving the group, the Code 3, creating one of the best, Filipino boy groups. I mean, just a crazy story so far. I'm actually really excited to see how the story kind of progresses.